Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the streaming recap. Yep, if the title didn't give it away, I'm going to be talking about the live stream that I just did yesterday, actually. So that was September 14th, 2017. And it was a great stream. I know I had a blast. I hope the people watching and talking in the chat and pretty much anybody had a blast with it too. Now, I initially started off drawing a little bit of fan art here from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Over this past weekend, one of my friends suggested, hey, you should do Hitchhiker's Guide. I'm reading the book. And I said, great, I love Hitchhiker's Guide, so that sounds terrific. My wife seconded it because she wanted to see me draw a whale, so that's what I decided to do. And as you can see, we kind of started off here just loosely throwing in the sketch, and that is a sperm whale falling through the sky with a pot of petunias. In the book, if you haven't read it, when this happens, these two things have thought processes about their falling. It's a pretty famous part and pretty fun and just weird, goofy, good old Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide type humor. Mostly blues here, but I decided to put in some creams and some light reds too in the clouds just to give some visual interest there in the background, and also kind of match the petunias a little bit. The same kind of colors used in the petunias are used in the clouds a little bit. And then the inking process was very straightforward, so it all came together. We had a good time talking in the chat about Hitchhiker's Guide, about horror movies we started talking about, all kind of stuff. So it was a good time. Made it go by very quickly for me. Actually, this drawing was actually pretty short to get done, all things considered. I used a blue and black ink there on the outlines of the clouds so they didn't compete too much. So that's pretty much wraps that up. I think I'm just going to sign it here, and we're going to take a look at the scan when the whole thing is done. Now, being that didn't take too long, probably about an hour and a half, I had some time to kill, so I asked the chat what would they like to see next, and people had already suggested Pennywise the Clown from the Stephen King's It movie, which recently came out. We were having trouble deciding if we were going to do the new 2017 Pennywise the Dancing Clown, played by Bill Skarsgård, or if we were going to do the classic Tim Curry. Tough decision, I gotta say. So we decided to split the difference and just do them both. So I started drawing it in here, and it's the Tim Curry clown from the 90s miniseries is there on the right, with the new Bill Skarsgård clown, of course, on the left. And they're just hanging out, having some fun, and they're holding their red balloons up high. And people said once I drawing it almost looked like a passing of the torch kind of a drawing, which it definitely does, but I think in a good way. I'm not necessarily trying to make a statement here as to who's better or anything of that nature, of course. I have not, as of the time of this recording, I have not seen the new It film in theaters. But hopefully this weekend I'll get to go, or if not the weekend after that, and check it out. And, so I just thought it was like kind of a cool looking thing. No statements there. A lot of fun red for the different clowns, with Tim Curry on the right having a lot of red. Now, the camera isn't picking this up too well. This is my webcam. And while I've adjusted the settings since last week so that it's not constantly zooming in and out or anything like that, as you can see, the colors seem to change frequently. I'm not sure what to do about that necessarily, but in the video it looks like the Tim Curry clown's hair is orange. The one on the right is orange, when in fact that's like a deep red. Same with the balloons up top. Now the clown on the left, he does have orange hair. So kind of interesting how the camera was picking things up or not picking things up, as it were. Kind of washing it out. Again, though, like I said, we're going to take a look at the scans for both of these drawings right at the end. Now, we were having a lot of fun doing this. This drawing took me well over my allotted time. I normally say I'm going to stream from 3 to 5. We went from 3 to a little after 6:30, so that's about 3.5 hours of streaming for both of these drawings, so that's not too bad. I'm glad I got 2 full drawings out, and people were really enjoying it and willing to stick to the end. So for all you guys that were willing to stick all the way through to the end, thank you very much. I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you liked the drawings that came out of it. I don't know if I'll be streaming that long regularly, but hey, what the heck? I had nothing really going on a Thursday night, so I figured, sure, why not? People wanted to see it, and I was willing to do it. So I think this drawing turned out really, really cool. I think the clowns, once adding the ink, really turned out well, because I was a little worried at first that they weren't looking like the characters from the films. The ink really helped to change that up quite a bit. Kind of just went around the drawing from the balloons, then into I usually start trying to ink on the left if I can. I'm right-handed, so oftentimes my hand will sit. If I ink on the right, then my hand sits in it, and sometimes that can smear it around and cause problems. So if I ink on the left first, that usually helps me to keep the page pretty clean. The other thing that was a challenge was being that these characters have white faces. Any smears, any little smudges, any of the underlying pencil that didn't get erased would easily show through. So I had to erase it and be very diligent about keeping it nice and clean. And I think it turned out pretty good, I gotta say, for having big areas of white. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now, I did end up sealing this later. It's not in the video here, but I sealed it up later just to prevent any smudges from getting into that white area. So, all right, looks like we're rapidly finishing it up. I'm just going to use the ruler to put in just light lines for the strings. I didn't want to cover their faces or anything with big, thick black lines. And a couple little highlights, and, well, that's about it. All right, guys, you know what time it is. Let's take a look at the scans. First up is the Hitchhiker's Guide scan, which I think is a really fun drawing. I like that it doesn't immediately say Hitchhiker's Guide like on it anywhere or anything like that. So if somebody sees this at a show, I'm looking forward to people either knowing what it is and giving me a thumbs up, or people having no idea what the heck is going on and being very curious. So either way, it's fun times. And now let's move into the double Pennywises here. And this one, again, turned out great. I think the faces turned out really good. They look both sinister and amusing at the same time, and it's just a cool drawing. Got me really pumped up to go and see it. So that's it for the streaming recap for this week, guys. Both of these drawings are currently on my Etsy shop, so you can check the link in the description if you want to buy one of them or whatever, or just check out the shop. And yeah, we'll be streaming again next Thursday on Twitch and right here on the YouTubes at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys can stop by. And the other thing is, drop me a line and let me know what you guys want to see for the next episode of the streaming. I'm going to tabulate all of the results of what people send in, up to 3 suggestions. Okay, I don't want to get flooded too much. You can give me up to 3 suggestions. I'll put them all in a hat, pull them out. You have until, we'll say, Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. So Wednesday night at midnight, that's as long as you have to get me your suggestions. And for the next stream, we're going to pull them all out of a hat, one of them at least, and we're going to see what comes up. So, yeah, drop me a line somewhere here, Facebook, wherever. You know me, I'm easygoing. And, well, that's about it, guys. We'll see you on the next stream, and thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.